Damn, holy shit. Okay, I'm not gonna waste too much of your time. Let's just go straight into the juicy details. So we have a brand new Esper, Hilda. Okay, we have two brand new Espers. One of which is actually quite interesting. Just visually, right? Aesthetically, Hilda is not the one I'm talking about. Anyway, she's a 5-star flow controller because of her patron goddess, Hypnos, right? Obviously. The next Esper we have, Adrena. This is the first female furry Esper. All you furries out there are gonna be super hyped about this. I'm not a furry, but I'm super hyped for you as well. So, Infernal 4-star fighter. Interesting stuff, and the best part is she is free. She will come directly from the event itself, so this is the best time for you to grind ahead on the event, get as many copies as you can of her. I think you can probably get her to R6 instantly. I think so. I mean, it's always been the case, right? But yeah, so this will be Adrena. We have yet to check out her skills, which would probably drop tomorrow as well. So yeah, exciting stuff, right? The first new female furry. Very nice. And it didn't play it safe like Camille, right? Right now she is completely furry, which is, I guess, it's a big thing to celebrate. Anyway, we have a new skin. This is the new RTA skin. CH2E Triple Hell General. Like I said, they just changed the color scheme, and that's what they call a skin. So I'm not super hyped about this, but it might be manageable for you to obtain his skin. We will check it out in just a little bit. So obviously we will have our warm winter event, and it is titled Warm Winter because winter 2022. You guys got the reference? Okay, anyway, let's move on. I really hope that Hilda is not an R2 Esper. If not, this is going to be like another way for them to not sell their banner Esper, because they have just not been doing an excellent job by releasing R2 Espers and then throwing an R0 Esper into the trial itself, which is like, oh my god. Or you know what, if they want to make her an R2 Esper, at least give us an R2 trial Esper to play around with. But you know what, that ain't gonna happen. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so there is something called Golden, what was this? Golden City Challenge. Okay, so the thing is, you can place your bets as to which team you think is gonna win. Either the team on the left or the team on the right. I'm not super sure whether this is based on actual players' Espers, but I think it is, seeing as they are quite well designed. So how this works is you use a currency called gold chip. Yeah, as you can see, you can wager who you think is gonna win. And if you put in a certain amount of gold chip, you put in a certain amount of gold chips, whatever that is, right? Then you can bet, and then you can win more gold chips if you get it right. If not, you get, and I think you probably like lose it. But not super sure what this is all about just yet. I hope this is something interesting at least. Alright, and now warm-up matches is finally coming back again, which is essentially a RTA. And like I said, the CH2E skin is actually all the way at Master 3, which is not so difficult to obtain, I think. I mean, for most of you guys out there, I think Master 3 is probably quite accessible, but for obviously the new and mid-game players, this is going to be quite difficult. It's going to be a complete nightmare for you. But okay, so for the rest of you PvP crazy guys, this is going to be an excellent update for you. Now, moving on, system update. This is something very interesting. This is, from what I understand, formation management optimizations. What I think this is about is you can switch, right? You can switch your entire lineup with the click of a button, which is really nice. So the thing is, you can click some button over here. As you can see, we are currently in the APEP screen. There is this button here that you can click, and you see we are currently using Tang Xuan, Li Ling, and blah blah in APEP. Yeah, I know that completely makes a lot of sense. But with the touch of a button, you can swap up your team instantly. So right now you can use your APEP team, which is like unbuilt Mona for some reason, and voila, it's just gonna instantly replace like this, which I think is excellent. So it's very helpful, at least for content creators, if you want to make a certain fun comp or something like that, you don't want to lose your current lineup, or maybe if you want to have several different comps in point 1, for example, right? You want to switch in between these two comps without moving these Espers around all that much, then yeah, this is still going to be very, very helpful. So nice, nice quality of life at least. I'm extremely happy that this is finally here. So all they have left to do is to probably give us more loadout, right? Something like that. I think this is probably like the thing that most of you guys are asking for. And we finally have Shademother. This is Shademother, not Shadow Stream, right? Oh, that's a little bit loud. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's take a brief gander at Shademother. And as you can see here, here are all the equipment, here are all the boost stones that she drops, which are not existing boost stones. So the thing is, these 6 new boost stones will be part of the new ritual boss Andras, which we will talk about in just a little bit. So it's not as if the rest of the shadow bosses are irrelevant anymore, right? Shademother is not dropping better versions of the existing boost stones. No, she is only dropping the new boost stones for the new ritual boss. But the thing is this then going to be a multiplayer content? I am extremely unsure about this. I'm hoping beyond hope that this is going to be a multiplayer content. It doesn't seem like it's a multiplayer content. So let's take a look at why I feel this is the case. Okay, you can see there's some stuff here which we will look into it in more detail in like the subsequent few days, right? You see that? This is just your own team, right? This is just your one team. it says nothing about multiple teams. So I think Shademother is possibly... this is kind of a bummer, this is a huge bummer, but Shademother is probably not going to be a multiplayer content. They completely scuffed it. But like I said, the whole reason why she is introduced is so that she can drop 6 new boost stones for the 6 new equipment pieces that we will obtain from this new Ritual Miracle boss called Andras. Okay, you can see that there are some ads over here. So the boss will come with 4 different ads, which means killing them is going to be part of the equation. So you're not going to be... Okay, maybe Ife, maybe Kara, depending. Okay, so it's very interesting that they are using poison espers here, Ife and Kara, which means I am inclined to believe that these ads actually have a shit ton of HP, right? So you can poison them, you can kill them with your standard AoE attacks. Oh my god, and there's Hilda here as well. With your standard AoE attacks. But I think for the most part, it might be more efficient to use poison type damage. If, like, let's say these guys have like 500,000 HP or something like that, right? And same goes for the boss as well. If you can poison the boss, that is... Oh, that was interesting. What the heck? Wait, hold on. Okay, so over here, the boss attacked our entire team and lands some debuff called what? What is this? Candine? What? Oh, gangrene. Oh my god, what the frick? Gangrene. And the boss also took some damage as well. True damage of 10,000. I'm not super sure why this is the case. I'm not going to go too in detail about what this fight is supposed to look like just based on this one screen itself. But quite interesting to take note of that there is a brand new debuff here called gangrene. And okay, here we go. So we will see all the new equipment and I'll just go through really briefly what I feel about them. Okay, so the first set, Relief Equipment set. When teammates cast basic abilities, the wearer has a 25% chance of performing an assist attack on targets with their basic ability only triggers once per turn when there are multiple wearers. So the way you can think about this is when one of your allies attack with their normal attack, you who have this set, which is a 4-piece set, have a 25% chance to use your normal attack to assist stuff, which is kind of decent for espers like Alice, for example. And also maybe really good for espers like Tang Xuan, who excels a lot with his first skill, especially when he's at like R2 or even R6, where he does a lot with his first skill. Now moving on to the next equipment set, the Harmony Equipment set. A 4-piece set where ally damage plus 10% for 2 turns after casting ability 3 unstackable. Wow, okay, so this one, allies damage plus 10% for 2 turns, which is this is really good for PvP, definitely. Very good for TF, for example, because you're going to start off with your ability 3 all the time and you're going to give a 10% attack damage buff for your allies, which is really good for cleaving. But for 2 turns, does it mean that this is a buff? If this is a buff, this could be the rise of Chloe comms again, because this is going to be an extra buff. But of course, we have to check it out whether it is indeed a buff or is it even like a if it's a Gorin buff, then yeah, we can forget about it. But it only lasts for 2 turns, which is, I think, pretty good because this is extra DPS for your cleaving espers, right? So mostly going to be good for support-based or controller espers or something like that. Don't need to be like super fast. Now the third set, which is another 4-piece set, the Calamity Equipment set. Damage against targets with a debuff increases by 20%. For each additional debuff on a target, damage increases by 3% with a maximum additional increase of 15%, which means if the enemy has 5 debuffs, you will deal an additional 35% extra damage to the enemy, which is pretty cool. So I'm thinking this is possibly quite good for espers like Lu Yi, who is going to channel a lot of debuffs on his own, right? He has a lot of bleeding stacks on his skills. So naturally, he's going to work really well with this. I mean, a 35% final damage increase is a lot mild stronger, okay? It's a lot stronger than a 30% flat attack gain. That is incomparable. Anyway, let's move on to the 2-piece sets here. We have the Brawler Equipment. Basic ability damage plus 15%. 15%? Oh, this is so good, right? Consecutively casting a basic ability further increases damage by 10%. Is there a limit? What? Is there a freaking limit to this? Wait, they did not indicate a limit here. Wait, hold on. This is insane for Brewster, right? Because he's going to cast his basic attacks all the time, plus 15% damage. And then when he casts it again for free because he's assisting, his damage is going to go up by 25%. Wait, what? This is freaking insane, dude. I feel like there must be a cap to this to like 25%. If not, this goes on forever and this is like quite broken. I really hope they thought it through, right? Now, next, Shield Equipment. Damage taken minus 12%. After taking damage, if the attacker is non-shimmer and not at an elemental advantage, or non-shimmer and not at elemental advantage, the wearer's damage taken is further reduced by 6% for 1 turn. So essentially, this is going to be extremely good for Everett, because right now Everett does not really need any 2-piece sets. So this reduces his damage taken by 18% instantly, right? Because the attacker is either non-shimmer or not at an elemental advantage, right? Because he is a shimmer type after all, so enemies would never be at elemental advantage. Which means this doesn't affect Tether, right? Is my understanding correct? Yeah, this will not affect an enemy Tether. It will not reduce the damage by another 6%, basically. But honestly, a 12 to 18% damage mitigation is really huge, especially on Espers like Everett, who is going to tank a lot. Then moving on to the final set, we have the Hold Fast equipment set, a 2-piece set which increases the ally's base defense by 12% of the wearer's resist. Effect stacks when there are multiple wearers. Okay, so essentially having an Esper with 100% resist, let's say a Sally for example, right? You have her as the lead, which gives you an additional 50% resist. So it's easy for you to get 100% resist on Sally, and then that means all your allies gain extra 12% base defense, which is I think based on their own base defense, because you have 100% resist, which is pretty good in my opinion. So if you think about it this way, you already have the Guard set, which I think, no, you already have the Stone set, which gives your one Esper 25% defense. But right now, you have both resist and defense at the same time. So if you have two Espers with 100% resist, with their own Hold Fast set, then all of your Espers will get 24% defense boost, which is effectively a free stone set for all of your Espers, which is pretty good because two of your Espers already have 100% resist. So this is actually not bad, but the question here is this better than simply running an Avatara set? Because in most situations, Avatara is going to carry you a lot further, but I guess it's debatable. I mean, now that the cleaving meta is back again, is an Avatara set necessarily better than, let's say, this set? Because this definitely protects you from cleaving, right? Or at least in some sense, it would protect you from cleaving, as opposed to banking on a 25% chance that you counter-attack and hopefully deal enough damage to take out one of their cleavers, but they have already moved. So this is pretty interesting. I feel like this needs a little bit more testing to prove if it is good or not, right? So we still have to test this out a lot. But yeah, so this will be the 6 new sets, but that's not all. I actually came up with like a small little Excel sheet just giving a brief overview of each of these sets. So for the first relief set, this is going to be useful with Brewster allies and Avatara heavy comps. Because whenever you proc an Avatara, that will count as a basic ability cast, and therefore the wearer has a 25% chance of performing an assist attack afterwards, which is a double Avatara in some cases, which is quite insane. Now next we have the Harmony set, where ally damage plus 10% for 2 turns, sorry, this is not 1 turn. Okay, so for 2 turns after the wearer casts ability 3, it is generally extremely good for cleave comps since you don't need many 4-piece sets unless you're running a solo AP pusher. And this sucks for Ethan because Ethan is going to start off with his second skill at R2 and above. Now the Calamity set, where you increase your damage against enemies with debuffs, it's essentially a really good set for the Celestial Anomaly in my opinion, right? And of course like Espers like Louis, which I mentioned, so those are some of the ways where this set can be used. And of course we have the Brawler set, which is again extremely good on Brewster. So your basic damage ability increases by, no, this is not correct. This is, don't ask me why the numbers are wrong, by the way. Basic ability damage plus 15%, and consecutively casting a basic ability further increases damage by 10%. This is freaking insane on Brewster, right? 25%. I'm guessing it's just going to be kept at 25%. And also, Relief plus Brawler might be very useful on some Espers like Tang Xuan and Zora. So if you combine both the Relief set and the Brawler set together, you will be spamming a lot of your first skills for free, which would deal a lot of damage for you. So yeah, Tang Xuan, Zora, Brewster, really good with these 2 sets, right? Like the Relief set and the Brawler set. And now we have the Shield set, damage taken minus 12%, blah blah blah, and then it further increase 6%, right? So typical tanky Esper set for those who don't need Avatara, like I said, like Tia, Lucas, Everett, etc. And finally you have the Hold Fast sets, which I talked about being really quite decently useful right now, especially since cleaving comps are coming back a little bit stronger, and the extra base defense is going to protect you a little bit more, right? So anyway, that's it for this really long preview video. I'm sorry that I dragged it on for far too long, but I just wanted to give you guys a little bit more information on whatever that we can expect coming really soon. And obviously we'll know a lot more tomorrow when the patch actually drops itself. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. How do you feel about this current update? I know this is going to be a very intense and very content heavy update. We have like the event itself, we have so many little sub events, we have a new Ritual Miracle, we also have Shademother. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below about Shademother as well. Do you foresee this going to be a multiplayer content, or is it going to be a single player content like I am suspecting it will be? Anyway, I'd love to hear from you, but if you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been Derry Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.